Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. While we got my coffee over here cooling off, let's talk about some boating basics, boating for beginners, boating safety, and some boating tips. Hey guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I post 2 videos a week to help you catch more fish. Alright, so this video is mostly talking about while you're on the water. Boating tips and safety tips and all that kind of stuff while we're on the water, making sure we are safe and keeping others safe as well. Alright, so some states require like a boating safety course, and if you never have been on the water and you're not required to take one, I still suggest you look it over, be familiar with the information, especially if you've never really been on the water before. But first thing we're going to talk about is buoys. Buoys always have some form of important information on them, so always pay attention to them. And if you don't know exactly what they say, if you can't quite read it or if it's turned wrong, go ahead and slow on down because it could be a hazard. So most of the buoys I encounter on a week-to-week basis is no-wake buoys, buoys that tell you which side to drive on, and finally hazard buoys. Let's get back to the no-wake buoys. I see people violate that all the time. Just last week, there's this guy coming in a cove, a skier, and he goes and does a U-turn around the buoy. Like that clearly says no wake, and you crossed into the wake zone. The wake zones are to protect your boat first and foremost, because there might be tons of hazards in the area, and they don't need to mark all of those hazards in that area. The second part is, hey, it's kind of a friendly place for, kayakers, swimmers, and that kind of thing. Small boaters, to keep them from getting overwhelmed by too many wakes. So always follow no wake zones. I know from time to time people don't, but please follow those. You ruin other people's days when you don't. So if you find yourself fishing late in the afternoon or in the evening, sunset is typically the requirement to have your nav and your anchor lights on. So you have your nav lights, which are the red and green ones at the front. Those need to be on, along with the anchor one, the white one on the back, if you're moving, if you're doing any kind of motion with your outboard. I think trolling motors don't count, but if you're doing any kind of serious movement, you definitely need to have all those on. And if you're roughly staying in the same area, all you need is the little white one, the little anchor one on, and you should be fine. But remember, sunset, not when you can't see anymore or 15 minutes after sunset. Sunset is typically the cutoff. So you will get a ticket if you're caught without them on after sunset. All right, another boating safety tip here is wear your stupid kill switch. Yes, it's stupid. Most of the time, you're never ever going to use it, and you're going to end up moving, and it's going to kill your outboard. I've done tons of times. I just needed to reach over here and grab something, and I have my kill switch on me, and it pulls it and kills my outboard. Crap. Got to start it all over again. But watch a few of those videos where people don't wear their kill switch and get thrown out of their boat. It's not a very pretty scenario. If you don't get away in time, you're going to get hit, and you're probably going to get knocked out, and you're probably not going to make it. So wear your kill switch for your safety, for safety of others, so that your boat doesn't hit them when there's no driver in it. And if it just causes a few inconveniences, that's fine. You'll make it. Just restart your outboard. It's all good. But wear your kill switch. It'll save you and others as well. Life jackets. Now, me as an adult, I'm a very good swimmer. I know how to swim. I can swim pretty long distances without getting winded. I'm not in the greatest of shape, but I am a very good swimmer. So here are some rules that I follow. Now, these may not apply to you, and if you have children, these definitely do not apply to them as well. Life jackets. I only wear them when the water is cold. And when I mean cold, I mean less than 60 degrees Fahrenheit. And the reason is because of this hypothermia chart. I have it over here, but I'm going to pop it up on the screen for you. So you can kind of see loss of dexterity, with no protective clothing on. Well, when you fall in the water with just normal clothes on, I consider that pretty much no clothing at all, because it's all going to get soaked. We're not talking about like a wetsuit or something that's going to keep you dry. So from 50 to 60, you have 10 to 15 minutes of dexterity, meaning ability to swim and move around and do things. And if you're in the water for a really long time, 1 to 2 hours, you're going to lose consciousness sometime in that 1 to 2 hour window. And afterwards, if you don't reheat your body, you have expected survival time of 1 to 6 hours. So obviously, if you lose consciousness in the water, you're probably not going to make it. But you see the 60 to 70, okay, a lot of people swim in 60 to 70 degree water. In 30 to 40 minutes, they start to feel stiff and kind of have a hard time moving. So, and you see all the times below that are very, very long and are typical swimming temperatures. But when the water is below 60, I'm going to be wearing my life jacket just to protect myself, so I don't have to use so much energy to keep myself afloat. And my life jacket will keep me afloat and keep me close enough to the boat where I can get back in it. Now, when we start talking, water temps below 40, that's when things get a little hairy, and you definitely want to watch the conditions that you have while you're out on your lake. So if you fall in the water, you're going to have a hard time moving after about 3 minutes being in the water. So just keep that in mind when you're out on the water when it's cold. Definitely wear your life jacket. Now for children, this doesn't apply. Always wear your life jacket, no matter what the circumstances are, no matter what the water temp is. Wear the life jacket. And if you're not comfortable doing this and you're not a very good swimmer, wear your life jacket all the time. It may save you someday. The note on top of my previous note where I only wear it when the water is 60 or below, I'll always wear my life jacket year round if the outboard's going. Because there's no telling if you get thrown out, that if you hit your head, get knocked out, or even just get a big gulp of water and you're having a hard time breathing, you're not going to be focused on trying to get back up. Have the life jacket on. It'll help you in those type scenarios. But hopefully nobody sees any of these scenarios that I talked about, but they're all a possibility. People die at the lake every year. In fact, one of my local lakes that I go to, their average is 1 death per year. This past year there were 2. Mostly for cold water reasons, not wearing a life jacket in cold water, or being on the water when the outside conditions were very windy, which had some big waves on top of very cold water. I want you guys to live to see another day. I want you to be safe out there. I want you to pay attention to your surroundings. And most of all, I want you to get out there and I want you to catch some fish. We'll see you later.